Hey guys, so real quick, this is a drawing from 2015 and I'm going to be redrawing it. It is the Gemini ladies. No reason for it to be, a Gemini or whatever. I did this back in 2015 and I really liked it and I liked it back then and I still kind of like it now, but it can definitely be better. So I am drawing the Gemini girls and I don't usually, show you like my sketching process or anything like that. But I just recently got these dolls, which you saw just a second ago. They are like the action pose dolls, and they're not like the great ones from like Figma or anything. They were just a cheap set off of eBay, and they really helped me out with the pose of these girls because I am very bad with full body poses. I've never been great with full body poses because I guess I don't practice enough. It also doesn't help that I don't draw as much as I used to. I am always doing some sort of project one way or another. But yeah, so this is the sign Gemini. Usually, what's the word? Like pictured with two twins or females or whatever. I'm not getting into the whole thing. I really don't know. I'm not a Gemini. It was just, this is one that I did. I also did Taurus. And while I was in college, I was going to do the entire, what the hell are they called? Oh, Zodiacs. I was going to do the entire Zodiac signs, but I didn't. I only ended up doing Taurus and Gemini. Taurus is my mom. I don't think I know a Gemini. I'm a Leo. But I don't know, for some reason, I really had this good idea when I was back in college to do two girls like touching hands and being Gemini. So, yeah, that's where this comes out to. I'm just going to allow myself to show you all of the sketching process that I did. It takes, as you can see, I do a lot of erasing, and nothing is ever perfect. First and foremost, it just isn't. That's just not how this works. So I do a lot of erasing and redoing, and like I think the right hand of the right girl or on our left is monstrous for most of the drawing, and I redo it like 6, 7, maybe even 8 times, and I just keep redrawing it. The original was drawn and inked and then colored in with Copic marker, and I still have the set of Copic markers that I colored with this, but I decided to do pencils instead. For a few reasons. I'm not great with Copic markers. I never have been. I need to get more in order to actually practice with them. And I don't have a skin tone anymore. My skin tone, actually I think it's E33 sand, or E something sand. I just know the color is sand, and it's an E. That's all I know. But, that one's dried out, and that was my only skin tone that I had in this pack of 24. So that one's been dried out since like 2015, and I've never gotten a refill on it or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just going to allow myself to show you the drawing process, and I will come back in a little while. So as I'm finishing up here, I am going to be jumping into coloring it, and I do fix that arm because I know it looks absolutely ridiculous right now. I actually bring it a little bit closer to her, as you can see. Now, I am awful at watercolor, and I thought, oh, this will be a good time to practice watercolor. Yeah, well, it still came out like crap. So I do watercolor this entire thing, but I'm not going to show you that because I ended up going over in pencil anyway. So let's just... Yep, there we go. So this is what, after I watercolored the whole thing, the only thing this really ended up being was like background colors for things that I was going to be coloring in later with these pencils. So I'm using Prismacolor colored pencils, my favorite, you know. And, yeah, so this was my watercolor attempt. I know it looks awful, it's okay. But it's done. It's done with. So I do end up coloring this entire thing in Prismacolor colored pencils, and I really, really, really love how this came out. It did take me a long time to draw the whole thing and color it. But I do love a lot of aspects about this piece. There is some things that I could change. There's some things that could be better, but it's definitely way better than the first piece, so I'm very, very, very happy with this one. I feel like they're a lot more proportioned than what they were, because they were very, like, unproportional. What the heck's the word? Either way, they were not in proportion. I feel like their heads were too big, and their bodies looked a little weird to be on the full... I don't know. It was just... There just seemed to be a lot wrong with it, and I know, like, the girl who's sideways, her face looked absolutely wonky, and the hands were a little weird, but it's okay, because I think that this redraw in 2019 is a lot better. So this is, what, a 4-year-old drawing? Yeah. So I think I've improved quite a bit, and I'm very happy. Yes, I had the help of, those action figure doll drawings. But I do really still enjoy how this came out, and so I really hope you did too. I'm gonna come back when it comes down to the inking process because I do ink this afterwards, but there's a little bit of a problem, and you'll see when we get to it. So now, I don't make you sit through the entire inking process because I know it's going to be hell. But what I did was I actually took some, I think it's Speedball, or actually, I think it's Bambi. It's just black ink, and I put that in my watercolor separator, and then I decided to try to use a brush, which did not work. So what I ended up doing was actually taking one of my microns, my .1 or my 0.1, and actually I kept just dipping it into the ink and drawing with it, because the micron doesn't like to go over the wax pigment, which I completely get, because I do very much, color hard with them. And I've always had a cartoon style, so I've always used a line. So I'm not going to make you sit through the entire inking process. But I did use a micron, but with completely different ink. In order to do that, I did dip back and forth a whole bunch of times. And after it is inked, I like it a lot better. Because at this point, I do like it, but I do like it a lot more with lines. I'm just more of a cartoony person, so the lines make me, a little bit happier. They give more to the piece. So, I won't make you sit through all of the inking, so I'll just do a little bit, and then I will come back with my final words, I guess. So I am going to be finishing up the line art in just a minute, and boom, there it is. I do use the 0.8 to go around the entire outside of the characters afterwards. I am just showing you a little bit extra here, but I am going to be just about done with this piece, and I really, really hope you enjoyed it. It was very fun to make, even though this was a little bit more on the tedious side, because, trying to do line art with things that won't go over the pencil is a pain in the butt, but that's okay. And also, what I'm going to be doing after doing all of this, I am also going to be putting, in the original piece I had wind going between the two girls' hands, so I do that again, and I really like it. So I really hope you guys enjoy this piece, and if you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!